Jesus more.
My dear brothers and sisters, this is a very long story, and at times when we have masses within the week, if the story is very long, somehow they cut it. The liturgical commission of the church would cut it, but this is a story that cannot be cut because it is first of all the story of Jairus pleading with Jesus to heal his daughter. And then in between that story, there is another story. So there is no way you can bring out one of the stories. It's just like bringing out the the meat out of the burger. Okay, so the burger has to be there. You can't just separate all of them. So that is why we must keep it as long as it is. First thing, there is the number 12 that is mentioned in this gospel in a very extraordinary way, focused on the characters of this movie, the focus of this story. The daughter, this girl, this woman who has suffered with hemorrhage for the issue of blood for 12 years is referred by Jesus as my daughter. It is not seen in many places in the gospel that Jesus refers to a woman directly as a daughter, and also the daughter of Jairus. So there is a reason why Mark would put the names daughters, the titles daughters. Remember that this woman was rejected by everyone. In fact, according to Leviticus chapter 15, if any woman was suffering with anything concerning blood, if she touched anything, that woman, whatever thing was touched, was considered also unclean. So you can imagine the pain that she was going through, but also the rejection that she received from the whole people. So it was a very difficult time for her, and it would have been very, very consoling for Jesus to call her my daughter, she who was rejected by every other person. And what does that tell us? There are times when we feel we are the most rejected of people, at times when we are going through a very difficult time, at times when we are even going through addictions and sinfulness and we feel we are so far away from God. That is even when Jesus is calling us my son, my daughter, to tell us how much he loves us. Okay? So that is the first thing. And the second thing about the number 12, I talked about 12 already, but the fact that this woman has suffered for 12 years, and that was the exact year of the daughter of Jairus. What does that tell us? That this woman has suffered for as long as Jairus' daughter lived. So that Jairus was asking Jesus to heal her daughter, but forgetting that this woman has suffered for as long as Jairus' daughter was fine, was okay. And that is why these stories are so linked together that you cannot separate them. That this woman has suffered for 12 years. At the same time, Jairus' daughter was 12 years old. And 12, we know, is a symbol of divine authority, divine governance, perfect timing, but also is symbolic of completeness. So this was the complete time for God's power to come into the life of this woman. This was the perfect moment for God's mission to be accomplished in the life of this woman. So there are moments also that we keep our prayers going and that we do not receive an answer to the prayers that we are asking, the things we are asking from God. Remember again the words of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 2 or Isaiah chapter 49 verse 8, where it says, at the appointed time I will answer you. So that complete time, it might be, for the people of Israel, it was 430 years that they spent in Egypt in captivity. They were suffering for 430 years, but at that appointed time, God brought them out. So it leaves us with one thing, that we must pray in faith, we must pray in hope, knowing that at that time, at the appointed time, when God has appointed for us, it will not be changed. We have to pray with perseverance, with faith, with hope. You know, at times our patience is very tight, it's very little. That we don't really want to persevere. We don't really want for God's we don't want to wait for God's time. We want it now or never. No, we have to wait for God's time. The third thing is about the story of faith. Remember, it is the faith of this woman that healed her. Now, the society had condemned this woman, just like I said, and whatever thing she touched was considered unclean. But remember, what was the source of her healing was the touch of this woman on Jesus. So the fact that she touched Jesus brought healing upon her. And that is why it's so important that, we must remember that even those down moments, the darkest moments, might be what God is going to use to bring us redemption. Those moments that we feel, oh God, I feel so down. No, that is the down moments that God is going to use to bring liberation to your life. And that is why we should not skip our crosses. We should not cut our crosses or abandon them, because this might be the bridge that you are going to use to cross over. This might be the only thing that you would use to receive your redemption. And God will use whatever thing. Remember the pain of this woman. Remember her uncleanliness is what Jesus uses to restore her life. In fact, her uncleanliness was supposed to make Jesus unclean, but Jesus' uncleanliness, Jesus' perfection, Jesus' holiness was able to bring redemption to this woman. So let us continue to ask God for the gift of perseverance and to trust, especially even when we go through dark moments, to trust that even at the appointed time, God is going to redeem us, but also to know that God is going to use even the things that we believe have become the source of our downfall to be the step towards our healing. Let us trust in God, because with faith alone, like he said to this woman, your faith has healed you. The same Gospel, chapter 5, verse 36, he says to Jairus, do not be afraid, just have faith. Just have faith. Do not be afraid, just have faith. So even when everything has failed us, let faith remain, because faith is that only thing that is going to bring us to the place which we cannot come to by ourselves. Let us ask God through the intercession of Saint Blaise that we may remain always faithful to him at all times, especially when things are not going the way we expect them to go.
Kiss us, mother, kiss your children. Bring God's blessings from above. With your mantle blue enfold us in your gentle holy love. See the darkness dissipating, hear the trumpet echoing, Satan's rage